Nicole, you are looking darn good here. Darn good. All right. So, Nicole, I am going to start just kind of, if you've looked at some of the other videos, you see I'm just kind of reiterating the importance of the announcements area. So if you haven't reviewed these announcements, please do so. All announcements are important, but in terms of a relationship to spacing and kerning, these four announcements right here, welcome to week one, how to complete assignment one, how to kern banana, and then welcome to week two, really super important stuff. There's a bunch of videos and all sorts of resources in these announcements. So for expert knowledge on the importance and execution styles and techniques for kerning and letter spacing, definitely want to take a look at these videos. Welcome to week two has got four individual videos in it regarding the fire and ice trial by fire, fire and ice assignment for week two. Definitely want to look at that. In that, there's a video where I show you how to kern fire and ice on the computer, which is really a logical transition. Understanding how to manually kern and then transitioning that into the logical progression, which is kerning on the computer. So you definitely want to look at that. This is a file from that video, and I rendered this myself, employing what I consider to be perfect kerning and word spacing. So we're going to use that to compare with yours. Okay, sound good? Let's go ahead and we're going to talk about letter spacing, word spacing, and actually we don't have to talk about baseline, mean line, and cap line because your baseline is perfect. These are perfect. Great job. So let's talk about craft. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is overshoot. Notice how in my example, you can see the curved letter forms rise above the mean line and below the baseline. That's called overshoot. And you definitely want to depict overshoot in your final iteration. That's why some of your letters look smaller than others. Like for instance, this E looks tiny compared to the other letter forms. And the reason being is because you're not accommodating for overshoot. Note overshoot in the lowercase r. See how that serif as well as the roundness of that teardrop arm are both rise above that mean line. So you want to make sure that you're placing that mean line accurately and depicting overshoot in relation to the mean line and the baseline. There is no cap line overshoot with the exception of the triangular serif for the uppercase, the lowercase d in that ascender. Okay, so definitely you want to depict overshoot. It's really important. It's something I'm going to be looking for in your final iteration. Now, overshoot, just if you want, it's covered in class, but if you want further information, just go ahead and Google typographic overshoot, and you'll get some really great examples and descriptions of why and how to overshoot. Okay, so you want to depict overshoot. As far as letter and word spacing goes, I think you're actually really good. I think this is done beautifully. Fire is done beautifully. Watch your serifs. See how these are bracketed serifs are kind of have this taper to them, and yours are almost flat. So you want to watch that too. So all right, so fire is spaced beautifully. I think you could move the I a little closer to the R. Okay, and then the word and is again, it's carved beautifully. And then ice is also just a little bit tight. I think this area right here could be increased as well as this area here. Feel free to use this as your reference for your final submission. As a matter of fact, you might consider taking a screenshot of that and using it as reference. Okay, as far as word spacing goes, word spacing is tricky, and the reason we use this word combination here is to kind of demonstrate how open counters can affect word spacing. So right now, I think this is a little too close to the word and. You want a little bit of breathing room here like we have here. But if you were to make this space equal to this space is going to appear larger. And the reason being is because of these open counters. That was covered in week one and week two lectures. So you just kind of want to make sure that these appear to be equal spaces. But you may have to make some adjustments because this is going to give the illusion that it's greater than this at an equal size. So you want to adjust accordingly. Okay. Again, feel free to use this as your reference, screenshot it, and you can use it for your final iteration of Fire and Ice. But those are my recommendations moving forward. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. All right, great start. Thank you very much, Nicole.